We start, Governor, with William in Johnstown. It was a simple question here, short and to the point. I like that. Why can't Pennsylvania use sand instead of dirty anti-skid and prevent chipped vehicles and dirty roads?
Well, chipped vehicles, I wish we could prevent chipped vehicles. A lot of that has to do with the stones that are on the road.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with winter and snow. And, we are coming into that season, so it's a good question. We use anti-skid, which is actually crushed limestone, and we mix it in oftentimes with salt or in addition to salt because it increases the safety of the roadways. And Bill in Johnstown, he certainly has a number of hills there. I was there last week. I'm there next week briefly. So you got to be able to get up and down those hills. What it does is it provides more friction than sand actually does. And so it gives you that traction that you need. And it stays there, and as compared to sand can blow away. So it stays there until it's all swept up in the springtime. Sand actually ends up more as sediment in the streams of Pennsylvania, and we don't want to add to the sediment there. Finally, some people, and I don't know that this would be Bill, take a look and they see sand or hear it referred to as sand out west in western states. Well, many times in the western states, what they are calling sand is actually the same anti-skid that we're talking about.
Oh, just a different name.
Yeah, just a different name.
A rose by any other name. Switching now to Jim from Luzerne County. Now, quick background on this. Jim writes into the show almost every month because Jim doesn't like this whole idea of red light cameras. Whether you agree with him or not, he's constantly feeding information and articles through our PA Matters site to have his case heard. So, Jim, I'm going to let you get into the show this week because in this 3-page email that you sent in, there was one line in there that jumped out to me. And again, Jim, talking about red light cameras, not liking them, he says he heard from a state rep that camera people have been making the rounds in PA. The insinuation there being lobbyists for the industry that administers and manufactures these cameras are trying to get our lawmakers to get these things installed elsewhere. Now, Philadelphia has been the only place that has red light cameras except Abington Township in Montgomery County is about to become the first non-Philadelphia
Actually, it's a front-page story on today's Philadelphia Inquirer.
Right, and so it's definitely a timely issue as this is now creeping outside of Philadelphia. So my question is he right? Are lobbyists, have any lobbyists knocked on your door?
No lobbyists have knocked on my door, but I would not be surprised if there are lobbyists out there. One of the lobbyists, quite honestly, could be the public safety side. Various automobile associations and so forth could be up there lobbying on this, but also manufacturers of these red light cameras could be up there. Everybody's entitled to have representation, have somebody go up and speak on their behalf in the legislature. I don't even know, and we probably should get the number, how many registered lobbyists there are in Pennsylvania at this time. It's a big number. Huge number of people coming in on various specific issues. If they are lobbying, they need to be registered. There are certain rules that they have to follow, and they have to be registered with our Pennsylvania Department of State. Mm-hmm. So I would not be surprised on that. I would note, if I could just add, that his comment talked about, and many of the tickets are for the red light just being red.
Right. Yeah.
What's interesting to note, if you look at it's actually called the Automated Red Light Enforcement Program, and the State Transportation Advisory Committee report was published October 2011. Review of the program has successfully reduced red light running violations by an average of 48% in the first 12 months. At the same time, the total number of crashes has also declined by 24% for those 10 intersections in Philadelphia. That's what it's for. Now, I know a lot of people think it's a revenue generator, and yeah, it does generate revenue, but we're saving lives. We're saving a great deal of insurance costs and injuries to people. And that just red.
Red is a binary state.
That's
Either
exactly
is or
right.
it isn't. Yes.
It is. That yellow light means slow down, not speed up.
That's right. Maryland has had all kinds of problems with their traffic enforcement cameras, both in inaccuracy and in vandalism. People really go off on these things. Now, judging by what you just said, you're on board. You're cool with cameras.
Absolutely. Especially the municipalities need to know, especially when they're putting it at high density traffic, high accident areas, and that's what they did. I think they did it along Roosevelt Boulevard, Route 1 in northeast North Philadelphia. When you can reduce the number of crashes by 24%, you know you're doing something right.